Alright, so Boruto chapter 8 for 2 Blue Vortex is finally out, and we got another great chapter, kind of seeing some more of Hidari and Jura, and was very interesting because we're also getting some information about Himawari, which will probably shock a lot of people if you've read this chapter, and really makes you think what the heck went on when Himawari was born, because she is apparently insanely strong and Jura is insanely confused. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to talk about because this chapter was incredibly informative and helps to build up the Borutoverse a little bit more. So just want to talk about the chapter cover real quick. We get a nice shot of Jura in his robes, kind of tattered robes, and has a human-like figure with the skin is kind of human-like as well, not like pale or anything. And he kind of looks a little bit alienistic, and I think he just looks very cool. I kind of like that green on his cape. But moving on, we see Ada kind of starstruck for Boruto. My kind of theory with this, not even needing to delve into like the 12 pages of just Ada and Mitsuki talking about love, but I don't need to talk about that in full. I'm just gonna kind of condense it. So I think Ada is starting to sort of have feelings for Boruto. She's seeing kind of his cool nature, the way he presents himself and things like that. And her and Mitsuki later in the chapter have a conversation regarding about, true love and how Mitsuki doesn't really understand love until he met Ada due to her ability, and kind of how until he had more reassurance in himself, he needs to find that first, not really worry as much about his son disappearing, and needs to really work on having that self-confidence and believing in himself. That's kind of what I got from the conversation. I may be wrong, but going back to Shikamaru and Boruto, Boruto is again debriefing Shikamaru, telling Shikamaru that they have already started evolving into divine trees, and we're not at the point to where they're going to suck up the life of the planet, but we're getting kind of dangerous to where if either Kawaki or myself, Boruto, get consumed, this planet will die. And it's something we've been talking about for a little bit because of how important these two characters are. Boruto and Kawaki are very essential to the story, and I'm not gonna lie, the way Kawaki got handled this chapter does not make me feel confident about the future of Konoha. I'm just gonna say that right now. There needs to be something that's gonna be done to fix this, and it needs to be done fast, because at this rate, Kawaki is definitely getting eaten by the divine tree. And this conversation quickly gets shut off by Kawaki and Delta on the way to find Boruto, but Boruto, just in time, snaps away. And I think Kawaki is sort of catching on, because in the panel, you see Kawaki looking to the left and Shikamaru sort of pondering there. So it seems that Kawaki thinks something is going on, because he didn't sense Boruto yet and Boruto didn't sense him. So how could Boruto know that he was coming? Something is going on here, and there's an insider working up against Kawaki, and Kawaki's going to figure it out very soon. And this is where we finally get interrupted again by Hidari and Jura entering the village. And this is going to be very interesting, very important. They detect Sasuke Uchiha's chakra signature, but who they do not detect is Jura's, which means that Jura is not anyone that we've met before. This is an entire new entity. It's not Jigen, it's not Ashiki, it's not Kawaki, and it's not whoever else it's not Kirama, it's none of those people. It's an entire new entity. And in the chapter, Jura even describes himself as an incarnation of a fellow Biju. I can sense the Biju chakra dwelling within him, kind of referring to Naruto as he's looking for Naruto within the village. So it's kind of inferring that Jura is just the manifestation of the Ten Tails, essentially, which I think is really cool. This is what the Ten Tails is personified. It has its own personality and its own motives and goals. And I really like how Jura is a much more interesting character than Jigen, Ashiki, Code, all those past villains. He seems like he wants to devour the planet, but he also wants to gain more knowledge and gain more info about the world around him. And it's not just this bloodlusted villain that's trying to kill everybody or has some weird alternative motive. And he's more inquisitive and trying to really think things out. Kind of moving on from that point, we also see that Jura can use wood style jutsu, so also confirming that these Ten Tails clones, these Shinjus, have the capability to do so, which I think is really interesting as well. And Ada kind of finally telling Shikamaru that, hey, I kind of saw these Ten Tails before, and yeah, we might be in trouble. But they're in a bookshop. They're kind of walking around, and there's some sort of dry humor from Hidari saying, so he's here, Uzumaki Naruto. It was a joke apparently, but Jura was confused as much as I am because he said it with a straight face. And out of nowhere, Kawaki shoots the needles at Hidari, and Hidari immediately dodges it. Kind of pay attention here because that is a good example for how fast Hidari is. But he does get hit by Kawaki and he gets kicked. And Jura says something really interesting here, saying, don't fight in front of the shop, you'll damage the treasure trove, Kawaki. Sort of reinforcing that, hey, like, I respect the books here, I respect the knowledge that's been placed upon this area, and I really don't need you messing that up, right? He's putting some respect on the knowledge. I really like that. I really like that of Jura. I think it's going to be a very interesting villain. But those two fight. Kawaki gets caught up in his what style jutsu, uses Sukahona, pops out behind them, tries to attack him, but Jura's not having that. He's not playing around. Goes ahead and kicks him into the water tower. The water tower has made its way back to the Boruto Naruto franchise. This is where it turns around 180 for Kawaki, because I think the water tower has a symbolic meaning in Naruto, as this is kind of where Sasuke had his big moment to where he realized that, wow, like Naruto could be leagues ahead of me, or has surpassed me in some sense. Kawaki, I think, realizes now on his third or fourth L, got bested by Clawgrime, got bested by Jura, got put to sleep by Mitsuki. I mean, even Ada doesn't want him anymore. I mean, he needs something that's going to help him out, and he needs it now because he is an embarrassment whenever he's trying to defend the Hidden Leaf Village. He cannot do it himself, and he needs a power up, which we're going to probably see later in the future, because episode 1 of Boruto, he's going toe to toe with Boruto, and we know Boruto right now is leagues ahead of Kawaki, and Boruto has not even used his Karma Seal yet, but Kawaki has. So think about that for a second. Then the chapter kind of ends off with Juro saying, there goes Uzumaki Naruto. And who does he see? He sees Himawari. So I don't know what's going on here, but there's something within Himawari. And remember, before the time skip, there was this instance to where Damon and Himawari had an interaction, and Damon felt the intensity coming from Himawari. There's some latent power, something brewing within her. I think it's bee juice, tail beast related, that she just doesn't know about, and it's going to be a major asset in the future, and it's gonna make her insanely strong. We don't know what that is. It seemed like it skipped Boruto because Damon didn't have that same reaction, and I think only certain people can sense this within Himawari. I mean, Jura was able to do it, Damon was able to do it, and doesn't seem like anybody else is able to do it. So we're gonna have to wait and see to what this is. I don't think it's a Nine Tails. I think Kirima is gonna be long gone. If it's anything, it might be a new sort of tail beast that maybe manifested from Naruto having the other tail beast, using him as a meeting point, kind of like a new Jinchuriki or something like that. Or maybe chakra is just mixed with, tail beast chakra, and that's kind of developing something else due to her, Hyuga genes. But yeah, this leads us for a lot of questions, and let me know your thoughts about this chapter. I'm really interested in hearing it. What do you even think Himawari is? That's the question. What do you think Himawari is, and what powers or abilities do you think she's going to have? And do you think that Jura is going to kidnap Himawari and sort of examine her further and learn more about how this became to be? Because remember, he has a burning question that he needs Naruto to answer, but Naruto's not here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the chapter. Hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.